Hunter O'Malley wasn't like other 10-year-old boys. While his friends collected baseball cards and played video games, Hunter collected clover and built traps. Not for rabbits or mice, mind you, but for something far more valuable, a leprechaun.
Today's the day. I can feel it in my bones. The oldest trick in the book, but with my special twist.
The special twist was a trail of chocolate coins leading to the trap. Hunter had read that leprechauns loved gold, but he figured they might have a sweet tooth too. The spring sun shone brightly as Hunter dragged his wagon loaded with leprechaun traps into the backyard. The O'Malley family home bordered a small wooded area that Hunter was convinced housed magical creatures.
First trap, perfect.
Next came his bucket trap, a shiny metal bucket balanced on the edge of a fence post, with a small ladder leading up to it and a sign that read, "Free gold inside." Hunter was certain no self-respecting leprechaun could resist such an offer. His third trap was the most sophisticated, a bird cage wrapped in green ribbon with a motion-activated light inside that would flash rainbow colors when triggered. Hunter had spent 3 weeks' allowance on the parts.
And now we wait.
Hunter hid behind the garden shed, his leprechaun spotting binoculars at the ready. An hour passed, then another. Just as Hunter was about to check his traps, a gust of wind blew through the yard. His shoebox trap flipped over, the stick falling and the box dropping to the ground with a soft thud.
Hey, that wasn't supposed to... Whoa!
His foot caught on something invisible, or so it seemed, and Hunter tumbled forward, landing face first in the grass. When he looked up, spitting out blades of grass, he could have sworn he heard a tiny giggle.
I know you're there!
He checked the bucket trap next. Strangely, the ladder had moved to the opposite side of the fence post, and the bucket was now filled with pine cones.
Very funny.
As he did, the bucket somehow slipped from his grasp and landed upside down over his foot. This time the giggle was unmistakable. As evening approached, Hunter refused to give up. He sat cross-legged by his prized birdcage trap, adding more shiny objects around it as bait. Suddenly, raindrops began to fall, even though the sun was still shining brightly in one half of the sky.
A sun shower, that means...
He spun around and there it was, a perfect rainbow arching across the backyard and disappearing into the woods.
A rainbow means a pot of gold, and where there's a pot of gold...
There's a leprechaun.
The leprechaun was no taller than Hunter's ruler, with a fiery red beard and eyes that twinkled with mischief.
Top of the evening to you, lad. Seamus O'Malley at your service. No relation to yourself, I presume.
You're real.
Of course I'm real. What do you think all them traps were catching? The neighborhood squirrels?
Hunter lunged forward, hands outstretched to grab the leprechaun, but Seamus leapt away with surprising agility.
Slow as molasses you are.
Stand still.
Where's the fun in that? Tell you what, follow the rainbow to meet pot of gold. If you can catch me there, I'll grant you 3 wishes.
Really?
Leprechaun's honor.
Seamus said, holding up his hand in what was definitely not the proper way to make a solemn vow. Before Hunter could question this further, Seamus disappeared in a puff of green smoke. The rainbow led Hunter deeper into the woods than he'd ever gone before. The trees grew thicker, and the evening shadows longer. An owl hooted somewhere nearby, making Hunter jump.
I'm not scared. Leprechaun gold is worth it.
A cold wind suddenly whipped through the trees, and a haunting wail echoed around him. Hunter's heart pounded in his chest as he peered through the gathering darkness. There, hovering between 2 ancient oaks, was a pale, ghostly figure with long, flowing white hair.
I'll be Banshee!
Hunter stammered, remembering the Irish legends his grandmother had told him. Banshees were spirits who wailed to warn of coming doom.
Boo!
Shouted a voice right by his ear.
You should see your face. Classic.
Not funny.
Depends on where you're standing. The gold's just ahead if you're still brave enough.
The rainbow ended in a small clearing where a large black pot sat gleaming in the last rays of sunlight. Gold coins spilled over its rim, catching the light and sending sparkles dancing across the forest floor.
Wow.
Beautiful, isn't it? Been collecting for centuries, I have.
Hunter approached cautiously, remembering his mission. He needed to catch Seamus while he was distracted by his gold.
Think very carefully about your next move, young hunter.
Hunter lunged forward anyway, hands outstretched, but instead of grabbing the leprechaun, his fingers passed right through Seamus as if he were made of smoke.
What the? A hologram?
A projection, actually. Latest Leprechaun technology. We've come a long way since the old days.
That's cheating.
And setting traps isn't?
I just wanted to catch a leprechaun. Everyone says they're not real.
Truth be told, lad, no one's ever put so much effort into catching me before. Those were some mighty clever traps.
Really?
The birdcage with the rainbow lights? Brilliant. Most folks just try the old box and stick routine.
So is there really a pot of gold?
Of course there is, but the real treasure isn't gold, you know.
It's not?
Nope. It's the adventure, the wonder, the not knowing what's real and what isn't until you discover it yourself.
Whoa.
Keep that clover safe. It'll help you see things others miss.
And the best part is, Seamus said I can try to catch him again next spring.
On his desk sat a new trap design, far more elaborate than any he'd built before. Beside it was a chocolate coin that hadn't been there when he went to bed, with a tiny note that read, "Nice try, better luck next time. S." Hunter grinned. He couldn't wait for spring to come again.